Ladies and gents, welcome back. Now, in the past few weeks, we've been hearing some pretty interesting rhetoric out of JT and Associates, the Justin Trudeau camp in Canada. And most of it has been contained to the state-run media, if you can call it that. I mean, most media in Canada is subsidized, if not directly funded by the government. So it's all under lock and key. There's not a lot of people speaking out against in mainstream media his words and of his associates. But news has been breaking out into other countries, notably today in the United States. Now, prominent left-wing commentator Bill Maher had some words to say about Justin Trudeau's rhetoric. And, well, let's just have a listen here.
I started to read what he said. This is a couple of weeks ago. He was, or maybe this is September, but he was talking about people who are not vaccinated. He said they don't believe in science. They're often misogynistic, often racist. No, they're not.
That was not smart of him at all.
Right. He said, but they take up space. And with that, we have to make a choice in terms of a leader as a country. Do we tolerate these people? It's like, tolerate them. Now you do sound like Hitler.
That was...
And recently he talked about them holding unacceptable views.
Wow. I'm surprised to hear that Trudeau said those things.
You didn't see the blackface? I mean, he's no, I'm kidding about that. I'm not. I mean, that was not a good look for him.
No, that's bad.
But I mean, come on. I mean, that's I think what gets under people's skin. They started to read.
It is what gets under people's skin, and you know, what started off as a convoy of truckers angry about the mandates held on them turned into a national movement, which turned into a global movement. And of course, now there are counter protests, as you would expect, right? Now, counter protests broke out in Ottawa this weekend, and we can see that there's a decent number of people out there that are standing up, probably misinformed from the media, but I'm sure we could get chats with them. I know Viva Fry's been out there talking with these people. And, you know, some of them have interesting things to say. And then this emerged today. Yes, that is a communist flag. Now, this is something I think is worth talking about, because there's been a lot of rhetoric about a few flags that flew in the convoy on the very first day, which a lot of people have brushed off as probably a plant just to get the rhetoric started. But this is a communist flag in the counter-protest. A counter-protest which a lot of people have been throwing accusations of open communism and a communist movement in Canada. And this kind of solidifies that does have an element to it. Now, in Canada and around the world, we have people who have come from communist countries. They've immigrated here, and in the protests, you hear a lot from people. They came from communist countries that fled and are afraid of that coming here and don't want to see that sort of thing happening. But what is the view from the communist perspective? Here's a quote from Mao Zedong. When there's not enough to eat, people starve to death. It is better to let half the people die so that the other half can eat their fill. That is Mao Zedong, the leader of China at the time of the Communist Revolution, and lived out the rest of his life as the supreme leader of China. A lie told often enough becomes the truth. No, that is not a quote from the Justin Trudeau campaign. That is Vladimir Lenin. Death is the solution to all problems. No man, no problem. Joseph Stalin. I'm sure we all know who that is. And Karl Marx himself. I won't read this out loud. Just disgusting. So, what has been the fruit of communism We've had 100 years of communism, and what have we gotten out of it? More than 100 million souls have left us. China, 82 million. USSR, more than 21 million. North Korea, 4.6 million. Vietnam, 3.8 million. Cambodia, 2.4 million. Afghanistan, 1.5 million. Yugoslavia, 1.17 million. East Germany, 815 million. Mozambique, 815,000. Mozambique, 729,000. Ethiopia, 725,000. The list goes on and on and on. Now, I've always taken it as a moment of a momentum of pride, a thing of pride that people fled these countries and we embraced them with open arms. Listen to these people about what communism is like. Listen to them. Because that's not something we want here. And I would like to see Justin Trudeau openly condemn the counter-protests unless this is what he supports. All right, folks. We'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.